Hey y'all, I'm Todd Bailey.
What's up? It's Arie Lumberdozy.
And this is fucking Brewtal.
Get in the pit, stock up the fridge, and listen. We're here to cover the latest in metal news and craft beer. A match made in hell.
If it makes you bang your head, then we want to hear it. If it tickles your taste buds, share those suds.
Turn it up to 11.
Crack open that beer.
It's about to get brutal.
What is up, Hopwolves? It's your boys, Todd and Arie, coming at you with episode 78 of Brewtal Podcast. We're recording on a fine Friday evening. No, well, it is evening. It's afternoon. On 5/19, May 19th. Yeah, man. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good there, buddy. Always stoked to see and hear your lovely self.
Oh.
And just to always hang out with the Hopwolves. You know, this is always a highlight of the week. Broken record here, baby. But no, it was pretty cool. It was an eventful week for a lot of things. But the two, I guess, like the two biggest highlights would be I got to help on two music videos. So one I did crew for. I shot like BTS, so behind the scenes footage for a shoot with my a new friend, my dude Emiliano. He was shooting a rap video in the Berg for actually I know his name was Michael, but I'm not sure if he goes by that or not for his like stage name, like his full name. Whatever, the song was sick. That was a good time. And then just the other day, I linked up with our friend Chris Rabidou. Don Rabidou, as I like to call him. He's the lead singer from The Breathing Process. I went out to his neck of the woods in West Virginia. So not too far from here, actually, in Morgantown, about like 2 hours away from Pittsburgh. And some other new friends, Carl and Jacob. Shout out to those boys from the band Homicide in South Carolina. I got to shoot some footage for a upcoming music video that they're doing. So that was a lot of fun. I've never been like the one to actually film for music videos, so that was a really cool experience. And as Don Rabidou said, the hangs were immaculate. Gabagood, boys. So that was really cool. I'm excited to see how that turns out and what the next steps are, because the track itself is super sick. And you should definitely check out Homicide there, Hopwolves, and some other things too, but those were the big ones. Better Mental Health Week, so I'm stoked for that. And ready to crush a few beers, hang out with my boy, and let's keep it going. How about yourself? How you feeling this week? I know last week was also kind of rough for you.
I just let it go from my memory. But
I'm sorry to salt the wound, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, I got these repressed memories, and I'm trying to keep them shoved down.
Start like hyperventilating. Be like, okay, we'll cut the show, dude.
Where's my paper bag? But no, this week's way better. Kind of back in my groove. Emperor's New Groove.
Wow, legendary film.
Yes, everyone should go check that out. But yeah, feeling better, especially with edits. I'm like back into a good point of like working now in the moment instead of like trying to catch up, which can be overwhelming. Other than that, though, on Saturday, we went to that Perfect Cat Lounge. I think I mentioned that last episode. But we got to check out a bunch of cats. Really cool place. And we applied to adopt one. Current name of the cat, it's a calico cat, is Beatrice, but we're probably going to change that. As it's an old timey name like Ethel and and Lorraine. Those are actually my grandma. Yeah, those are my late grandma's names, and I'm like, those will never be reproduced.
No, I just worked with a Lorraine a few weeks ago, and yeah, she was 70. Makes sense.
That checks out.
Yeah.
But so we're kind of in a limbo period. So keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully we get approved for this. We're kind of looking for a new friend for Charlie. It seems like he's pretty lonely, so we want to get him a cat that he can play with and chill with.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Something to look forward to in the coming weeks. Something for both of us, I guess I do want to mention, just because it is kind of a metal thing. how are you feeling about that Mortal Kombat 1 trailer, dude?
Oh, dude, super stoked for it.
I had to bring it up because there's so much gore in it.
Yeah, I forgot that this is going to be the first one for this generation of consoles. And dude, especially the Liu Kang, I guess you could call it a fatality, but whatever you get from the trailer, oh, it's so good, dude. And it's cool too because it seems like for anyone that has not played Mortal Kombat 11, small spoiler alert, so forgive me, but it's also been out since 2019.
I was going to say at this point.
But like Liu Kang becomes a god, like Raiden gives him his powers, and that's how this one starts. So like it is a reboot, but like a continue, like that's the popular thing now, is like you're rebranding the franchise. It's like when the bands, how we always talk about, like when you do a self-titled album, you're kind of like changing up like the sound or the look or something like that. I feel like that's what Mortal Kombat is doing, but they're going back to the roots, just like Whitechapel. So maybe Whitechapel will be playable characters in this one. That would be fucking awesome. But yeah, to your point, I'm going to ramble on about that. I can't wait. I love everything about Mortal Kombat.
Same. Yeah.
One of my favorite franchises. So I do like when they kind of go back to basics with that. And I know they were talking about incorporating things potentially from like Mortal Kombat Deception, like meaning like 3 different fighting styles. Like you have a weapon and then like 2 different martial arts, which would be really cool. Deception's one of my favorites. And I just can't wait. And it's really not that far away. It comes out in September. So that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude, that'll be here in no time. And I saw some leaked info that they might have some DLC characters, including Homelander from The Boys.
Oh, dude.
Which would be fucking sick. And then also,
that would be.
Oh, what was the other one? Oh my God, why am I blanking on it? That's okay. That was the big one. I was just like, oh, Peacemaker. Yeah, it's from Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
So, dude, that would be insane.
Really, they're just like, when Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat, was teasing, it's like, well, the next project's either going to be MK12 or Injustice 3. It's like, let's just do both. We'll just lump them all together.
Regardless, I'm pretty excited for this, so I had to get that out there. We always talk about video games every once in a while, and what more metal of a video game than Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, the most. Well, not the most, but definitely up there.
Yeah, but to keep it moving, let's get onto our beers. We're actually going to change it up here. Arie is starting, which is so rare. So I will give you the floor.
Thank you, sir. Yes, the turns have tabled for this week on Brewtal. And I was trying to finish this beforehand. I have 2 of these guys. I'm gonna feature the one, but like I'll hold them both up. Let me grab this boy right here. So what I have is some cheladas from Modelo. And to preface, I know Todd has had Modelo on here before, and we talk about it from time to time. It's definitely my favorite, like, Mexican cerveza.
Oh yeah.
And I get the biggest kick out of just saying cerveza, only because my boss back in the day, shout out Sam, I love you, but this is so fucking funny. I probably said this on the podcast before, but who the fuck cares? I don't. He would say that Modelo was a cerveza style beer, and it's been a running joke ever since. Be like, so it's a beer flavored beer, like. What the hell, man? But for anyone that is unfamiliar with a chelada, it's basically, it's a beer, but they have variations of like tomato, salt, lemon. So it is like a beer, but there's like a lot more ingredients that like you can add essentially depending on your taste. Really, it's like an open palate. Kind of.
I always think of it as like a V8 of beer.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to describe it. and I'll kind of get a little bit more into it. But the one that I'm featuring, like I said, I have two of them here, so I'm gonna hold both of them up. This is actually Skylar and I got these for Cinco de Mayo.
Nice.
And I forgot that we had a couple left over. But I've got two. So this one, the green one, is man, I am so white, so I really apologize for any mispronunciations, but it's Limol E Sal, and this is the like the lemon lime one, or is it lime?
Oh,
I'm not
limon.
sure.
Yep.
Limon. Yeah. Okay. So again, I really apologize. So lime flavored, and then this guy, the orange can, is orange flavored, but they all have hints of like chili peppers in them to give it a little bit of a kick. And this one is Naran Picosa, right? Is that right?
Naranja. Yep.
Naranja. Okay, awesome. And that again is just, this one is made with orange and chili peppers. And this came in a mixed 12 pack. So the other two flavors were pineapple and mango. And the mango is definitely my favorite. And everyone else, like the general consensus is that the mango was the best. And it also incorporated the spice the best. But they're all pretty solid, especially with it being a little, as Todd would always say, it's hot. It's really good for this time of the year. We're getting into summer. I mean, we got a little bit of spring left for sure. But it's cool on some hot spring and summer days. But this guy is 3.5% ABV, so it's meant to be crushable as fuck. I wasn't sure what the IBUs were, but they're low for sure. Modelo is part of Grupo Modelo, so that's the brewery, and they're from Mexico City. But the can art is a take on the traditional Modelo can art, which is, you can see for everyone watching, but for everyone listening, you have the two lions of the Grupo Modelo holding the company sigil with a banner underneath, which is commemorating the establishing date, which is 1925. So they've been around, almost 100 years. That's really fucking cool.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I didn't even realize that, but that's awesome. What is it, 98 at this point? But then the distinguisher is each can coincides with the flavor, like the color of it. So since this one is made with oranges, the bottom and top half of it are also orange. And the font's pretty fun for everyone looking. It's a little like festive there, and it's got some oranges and stuff on there. So it's pretty cool. I like the can. I like when they just kind of riff on the OG label art there. So per the website, they said at Modelo, our cheladas are prepared to offer you the experience of an authentic and refreshing michelada. And the michelada is a prepared Mexican beer that usually includes variations of tomato, salt, lemon, and obviously Mexican beer. Also, people often add different spices and flavors to make unique and exclusive micheladas. If you look them up online, like, they get so wild, dude. Like Todd said, like the V8. I also like to think of it as like the Bloody Mary of beers.
Yeah.
But like tenfold. People add like the craziest shit to this. And that's really cool. I like that it's essentially, again, like an open concept beer. And especially in Mexico, it depends like where in Mexico. So like if there's certain flavors that are popular in that region, like that is what they're pushing for the micheladas, which is really fucking cool. And it's a tradition brewed for decades. It's always offering a unique experience. Like I said, like when you're adding different ingredients and flavors, you're adding, you're removing, you're incorporating more spices. And Modelo, their cheladas are inspired by the nuances that have shaped the michelada culture for generations. Each ingredient, each flavor, and even the most subtle distinction represents the authentic michelada of Mexico. Modelo has strived to combine all the flavors of a traditional michelada in one can, so you can conveniently enjoy the true michelada experience whenever and wherever you want. So that's a really cool, essentially like mission statement for what they're trying to achieve and present more about the Mexican culture. So that's really cool, and that's really fun. I still have some of this, but I'm going to crack this one open because I don't care.
Let's go. Double fisting.
Double fist. Yeah, that's going to be the rest until one of them's gone. To preface this, I have had all of these before. Like I said, the mango one is my favorite, but these ones are pretty solid. And even right now, when I open it, I can smell like the oranges. They're coming off the nose pretty nicely. Cheers, Hopwolves. Yeah, it almost tastes like an orange soda, kind of, which is awesome. You do get a little bit of the spiciness. This one more so than like the lime. The lime's probably my least favorite one. The pineapple was like pretty intense, and they're all like very flavor forward. So like very lime forward, very orange forward. But in the spiciness is rather subtle, more on the back end. Like I could kind of still feel it a little bit in my throat, and I get in the back of my tongue. But as to be expected, because it's got such a low ABV and it's more of like a traditional beer, it's very drinkable. And again, with it being hotter, this is really nice for the warm weather, essentially. So one more, let's go it. Yeah, I mean, you still get the essence of the Modelo in there, but again, it tastes more like an orange soda than anything. So as long as you like the flavor of like orange or lime or pineapple or mango, totally worth it. I think overall, I would suggest them. I wish that I could just get like a 12 banger of the mango. Like the orange, I'm just not like a huge orange fan. So like this one's like kind of bottom for me. I would recommend it. I think they're fun. And especially when you think of it as like what they're presenting is the nuances, which is cool, but you could still add flavors to it if you want and make like your own michelada. So you can take Modelo's take on it and even incorporate your own flair. So I think it's more like a fun experience. So yeah, I would suggest it. I like Modelo a lot. So like I said, it's my favorite cerveza style beer. But yeah, I would say if you're looking for easy drinking for these days, do it up, baby.
Let's go. Yeah, I always love getting the OG one and then putting a lime in the bottleneck and drinking it that way. Just with maybe sprinkle some salt on the top.
Hell yeah, Tahin's really good on there too.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. That is,
I love Tahin.
A must. I actually love Tahin with the watermelon. If anyone's ever interested, that's a good fruit to pair with Tahin. But anyway, today I have a beer that I usually drink, which is a Pilsner. But this one is from Hi Sign Brewery. They're one of my favorites in town, so I'm actually glad to finally feature them. It's been a little bit. I believe I featured their blueberry one a while ago, but this is a long time coming to feature another one from them. The can art itself is very minimalistic, simplistic. It's basically got their logo. It's like a matte white for the background. It's a lot of the background, so it's like the majority the background. But if you turn the can around, they have a nice little artistic drawing of their new brewery, which is in downtown Austin now. They used to be out near the airport, but it was a terrible location. It was just very hard to get to. So much construction going on. So I'm super glad that they moved and now can be at peace and just make beer and not be bogged down by that. The beer itself, though, let me actually raise the glass. I have it poured out already. Pretty much everything you want from a Pilsner. It did have a nice head when I first poured it, so that was pretty cool. You can see the bubbles rising right now. It's at 4.8% ABV. It's called the EASTSIDE Pilsner because that's where they currently reside now. Like I said, the can art is very minimalistic, but it's actually a rebrand, and it kind of celebrates the relocation of their brewery, which is cool. And I have to mention another beer, even though I'm going to drink this one. They have my favorite beer in Austin called Super Astronaut, and it's a DIPA, DIPA. And it's just a must. I got to feature that some time in the future on this show because every time I go there, that's like the first thing I get. But we're talking about the EASTSIDE Pilsner, so let's give it a taste. Yep, tastes like Pilsner. Let's go.
Arie recommend 10 out of 10.
Yeah, no, this is
Move along.
super drinkable. There's actually a Pilsner I had at Celis Brewing, not to throw too much shade, but it had a weird taste to it. I don't know if maybe it was got that taste from the process, but it was at the brewery, so it wasn't like out of the can. But
Right.
so you can, in my opinion, do a Pilsner wrong, but this is solid, super drinkable, very like I could down a 6-pack of these in an hour if I wanted.
Fuck yeah, dude. Let's go.
The taste is really nice. It reminds me a lot of, I think it's the Hellas from Real Ale or someone else here in town. It's very close in flavor wise. I think no, it might be the Hellas from Independence Brewery. Regardless, it's very close to that. But yeah, I really like the taste. It's not overbearing, not too bitter. I don't know the IBU, but being at 4.8, it's not too bitter. As far as ABV, yeah, I have to recommend these guys. They have a solid lineup of beers. This is just adding to that. And I'm a sucker for Pilsner, so I would say 90% of the time I'm going to recommend the Pilsner that I'm drinking because I'm usually pretty selective about which brewery I'm featuring. But I'm glad to see them in the pick 6. I hope maybe whoever's doing it at the local grocery store, HEB, I hope they do more Hi Sign now because that would be awesome.
Yeah, dude. That sounds like another winner. And you've always talked highly of Hi Sign.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sick. I also feel like in the future business endeavor for us on Brewtal, we're going to make a sucker that's Pilsner flavored. Just to be like, this is for you. Yeah. If anyone steals, I'm going to be so fucking pissed.
That would actually be kind of dope, man. You could do that with a bunch of different beers.
Trademark that here, baby.
That's
doing
right.
It.
By law, by bird law, we...
if we catch you doing this shit, it's gonna be a duel. No other way around it.
Dude, I'm just thinking of your beer, the Modelo's in a sucker form. Like that would be kind of dope to suck on that.
Yeah, always good. Always down for the sucking, baby. Or like a popsicle type of deal. We'll work on it.
Yes.
We'll work on it. But speaking of things to work on, our transitions, of course. But let's get into the metal headlines, dude. This one's a fun one.
Well, I will see you next Tuesday. That's who we're talking about. The band, if no one picked up on that.
We're not insulting you.
I never know if these jokes come across, but they probably just tuned out. Anyway, see you next Tuesday. They have made a comeback. Their latest offering was fucking awesome. They have a VHS coming out. What's that? Is that like an NFT? What is that? No, this is a cassette tape for all those listening. If you're not familiar what a VHS is, it means video home system, but it is a tape that you can pop in. So if you have a VCR player, that's how you can watch the show. It is not the first time, though, that we've covered bands moving into different mediums. Of course, a lot more people are doing the tapes for the records. I see that a lot on Bandcamp. Mm-hmm. We have artists doing graphic novels. Ice Nine Kills comes to mind. Brand of Sacrifice comes to mind. So there's different avenues to kind of get yourself out there. And I love this because it's an ode to the 90s. And that seems to be the popular thing nowadays is we're deep in 90s nostalgia. So they're playing into that, which is cool. We both grew up in the 90s. So we're very much both just loving this whole resurgence. Anyway, the tape itself, it features their set from Preserving Underground, which is actually filmed in Pittsburgh, and this was back in February. It was recorded by Blake from Imperfect Video Productions and then Ryan from BTST Records using a Hitachi and RCA camcorder from the 90s. That's why I am constantly throwing out that date. This is so cool, man. Like it's super fun. Like it's those a little touch added to just marketing yourself and kind of riding that nostalgia in a way that's like it's now a collector's item for a fan.
Yeah, dude. And if I remember correctly, they're only doing like 100 of these. It's either 50 or 100. It's not very many.
Mm-hmm.
And as a collector, that's always like, I have to have that. Even if I don't have a fucking VHS player, I want it because that's really cool. Like you said, it's a different type of medium that doesn't get covered very often. And VHS culture has like a super big following. Like once you get into it, and vinyl is kind of like the same way, but that's risen above, and those are like more prevalent, I guess, in mainstream, because bands do vinyl pressings all the time. We don't see VHSs, and I love, besides the fact of VHS, the fact that we're doing like full concert videos again, which, don't get me wrong, we still do like things like Hate 56, and a lot of people do that, but like dedicated to just like one show and then like releasing it. I really like that that's making a comeback. Like Acacia Strain is doing that too. So it's kind of cool. It's another like little throwback to how it used to be, I guess. And yeah, so if you're a fan of See You Next Tuesday, like Todd said, the latest offering is super fucking rad, and they bring it live, so I've heard. And Preserving Underground's a great fucking venue. It's probably my favorite in the town, or in the Pittsburgh area. It's really fucking cool. And the Berg. Yeah. So keep your eyes out for that, because that will come and go pretty fast, I would imagine. But yeah, super fucking cool. And what else is super fucking cool is the albums that dropped this week, per usual. Let's get into it there, sir. First off, we have Blindfolded and Led to the Woods with Rejecting Obliteration. Then we have Black Pyres with their self-titled album. Decayer with Sonoran Death. That's an EP. Drep. And I'm guessing this is what it stands for as well, the name of it. Is that correct, Todd? Drastically Reducing Earth's Population.
Yes.
That's awesome. Then we have Ephemeral with their Tower of Silence EP. For Those Who Can See with Burned Away. Frozen Souls new one with Glacial Domination. Furnace Floor with their self-titled demo. Not sure if it's Nash or Ganache. We'll leave it up to the Hopwolves to decide, or the band can tell us that we're wrong. But it's one of the two, with their Low, Slow, Woe EP, which I love that name. That's fucking awesome. Then we have Hour of Reprisal with A New World from the Ashes of the Old. Hell yeah. Human Instrumentally Project with LCLC.
Yep.
And it's like the letters LCL and then CSEA. And that one's actually dropping tomorrow on 5/20. So by the time this episode airs, it'll already be out, but just so you know. Next, we have Insomni with Lifeless Carnation. Mind War with Still at War, always. More, MOOR with Heavy Heart. Then we have Sadistic Hallucinations with Chambers of Dissonance. Scumfuck's new EP with the Attitude Era. Nice little nod to like some wrestling. Secret Earth with their Brittle EP. Sleep Token with Take Me Back to Eden. The Ocean with Holocene. And then finally we have Vomitheist with Necro Funeral. Killer lineup there, dude. You really like found some super sick albums there, as you always do, which always begs the question, what's doing it for you this week? What's your pick, and what are some also honorable mentions, we'll say?
Frozen Soul, first and foremost, man. I've been getting more and more into death metal. I was about to say deathcore, death metal. Both really, but we're in a renaissance right now, man, because after what Sanguine Sugarbug released and so many countless others, I'm going to just give a shout out to Bandcamp, because that site alone helped me fill out this list. Had a lot of power metal at first, and I was like, you know what, we got to make it just a little darker. So
darker.
Yeah, kudos to that site. I actually love perusing the death metal section on there because it seems like a lot of death metal bands love Bandcamp for releases.
Absolutely.
So I mean, that's where I found Vomitheist, drastically reducing Earth's population. Like, what a great name! Furnace
Hell yeah.
Floor, all that. So go check out that site alone for if you really love death metal. But Frozen Soul is top of mind. I have listened to the album a couple times. Really love it. They featured Matt K. Heafy twice, which is awesome. He's on
Twice.
he's on 2 different tracks. That's what's up.
Nice.
Other than that, Blindfolded. Really looking forward to that. I haven't listened to it yet, but I really love the single so far that we've featured. And then a total surprise is Hour of Reprisal. Never heard of them, but that album is fucking solid. It has such a great intro track that bleeds into the second. Go check it out. And then there was another one I did want to shout out. Oh, the Human Instrumentality Project. It's anime deathcore, so I'm kind of looking forward to this.
Cool.
I've only heard one song, but I'm very intrigued by what they're doing. I really love the music that like Japan, Asia in general is putting out. I actually think these guys are from China though. So don't get it twisted. Yeah, I think they're from China. But regardless, that's actually pretty cool because I don't know, you never know with certain governments from certain countries like what's getting out. So to hear deathcore coming from China is actually pretty dope. But regardless, Asia is to me untapped potential with metal, and what you're going to hear soon on this Certified Brutal Bangers playlist coming up, we have 2 bands from Chile that drop singles, and it's just like we love seeing more metal come from different countries other than the US. So I'm pretty stoked for that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool to see and hear the different cultural incorporations into just the bands themselves, whether that's sonically or visually. It's really cool. And especially, like you said, over in places like China and Japan, Korea, Indonesia, like all those, and well, Chile, of course, too. But it's just like the innovation is just, I don't know how they do it, but like the craziest shit will come out of Asia and that Western culture like that. And I fucking love it.
Dude, I think of Bloodywood from India.
Yeah, Bloodywood is a great example of just, it's weird because like it's innovative for us and like everyone else that isn't like involved in the culture. But like to them that just makes sense. Like, why wouldn't you incorporate your heritage and the Indian flair to music that you already love? True. And then people are like, I've never heard that before. And you're right, because like, why would we? Especially here in the States, like why would we hear like Indian death metal like that? So that's just one of many examples. It's a really cool time for the scene. And really like thank you to the digital age for being able to get us these types of bands, because you know even 10 years ago would have been hard to hear some of these bands from other countries.
I know, I still miss Chainsaw Disaster. Shout out Brazil.
Shout out Brazil. Chainsaw Disaster is the GOAT, dude. Great fuck. I still have that burned album, dude. So I don't know where it's at, but it is still in existence for your boy, and I love it.
I want to buy it, but you can't find it. It's on YouTube though, so go check out the tracks from that band.
Yeah.
I went on a rant, but what are your favorites from today?
The only one I've listened to so far, and it is my pick because I absolutely loved it, was Blindfolded and Led to the Woods. I love the name, and I love what they're doing. One track that really stood out to me, I'm pretty sure it's called Funeral Secrets.
Okay.
And that one was a fucking heater, dude. They're all great, but that one in particular really stood out, and it seemed like it was the heaviest of all of them, which is saying something. So that was really cool. But other ones I'm stoked to jam, the new DECAYER EP, the Frozen Soul, I was telling you the latest video from Frozen Soul. I could not tell you the name of the single, so forgive me, but it just came out, I think today or within the last couple of days. It's all like referencing The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. So
Love
I'm
that
already
movie.
there.
Yeah, I love that
Yeah,
movie.
same. Hours of Reprisal, because you were hyping it up for me earlier, so I'm really excited for that. And then of course Dickie Allen and Scumfuck, can't go wrong with that. So yeah, it turned into a really good release day. Like Todd said, there was a lot of like power metal and things like that he had found and that came onto our radar. So always nice to go into that darker territory there.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, we'll keep that train a rolling with the certified brutal bangers, dude. Take it away.
Dude, this is one of my favorite, like, off the top songs in a while, man. I'm actually pretty stoked about their album coming out. Album or EP, one of the two.
New music.
New music. Anyway, we are starting off with Wretched Tongues with their song Ascendancy. And no, it is not a Trivium cover.
That would have been sick.
I know. I had to double check because you never know nowadays. But
That's true.
yeah, it is a fucking brutal banger to start off. And then next up, we have Impuritan with Fever Dream, keeping that energy going. After that, we have the band Zealed with their song Obsidian. Again, just as fucking heavy. And then this one, I wanted to put it at the top, but just flow wise, it's fit a nice little puzzle piece into the bigger picture of this playlist.
Motherfucker.
We have Ojo de Luna, Eye of the Moon from Own Omniprescence. Sorry. That's one of the bands from Chile, which is fucking awesome. Go check it out, man. I love the fucking bounciness to the riff, like maybe a minute into the song, probably earlier than that, but dude, it gets your head banging. After that, we have Brutal Alumni, Bakasura, with their song Transcend the Stars. They just keep churning out new music, man. I love what I'm hearing from them. Next up, we have the other band from Chile, Against the Tyrants, with their song Ouroboros. And of note, their single artwork for this is actually pretty fucking dope for both their singles. Yeah. So go check that out. We're trying to find the artist. So if you know, DM us. After that, the band Mutual Hostility with their song Lie in Wait. Shout out to Blood Blast. That's how I found out about them. Next up, we have, I don't know how this guy continues to make new music. This is like the guy behind Tarantula, Florida. There's another band.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's like, how are you doing this? But the band is Heinous X Sanguination. Sanguine seems to be the word nowadays for band names for everything. But this has a great intro to it. The song is called Bodies Open Easier Than You'd Think. And the audio clip, I don't know if it's from a movie or not, but yeah, it fits perfectly with this song and what they're going for. I mean, just look at the single artwork and you'll get a sense of what it's about.
I mean, the album or the song title too.
Yes. Yeah. It's all pretty much on par with what your expectations are. After them, we have the song Northland Pure Hatred, but I wrote self-titled, but it's from a collective, I think, Northland Pure Hate. And this is featuring members from Divinitas, Dooms of Ghetto, and Slut Needs a Kangamato. I looked up Kangamato. It's like a cryptid creature. Think of like a pterosaur or something like that, but I don't get the name. I don't get the reference, but I love it. And this lives up to its name. Northland Pure Hate, dude. It is a good beatdown slam song for sure. After them, we have In Dying Arms, and this is actually featuring Frankie Palmieri of Amir, and it's called Mine to Own. It's got a nice little visualizer to the music on Spotify. After them, we have the band Severed Ties with the song The Hanged Man. Then we have Misery Order with their track The Mirror. After them, we have Bone Crown with their song Pinned Down. Next up, we have Remission. That's actually kind of funny.
Nice.
With their song Caster. Found them through Blood Blast as well. Next up, this is the little girl who's stealing all of our hearts. We're talking about Harper. She was the one that was featured on that talent show, and she was screaming Spirit Box, which was fucking awesome. But dude, she's doing big things, and I love to see it. She just released a track, Weight of the World, and this is featuring We Came as Romans and Brand of Sacrifice, which is pretty much our new favorite bros. If this was a sitcom, like these are the two characters that are broing half the time.
Yeah.
That's awesome. They collab with her. We only wish the best. So I can't wait to hear what's next from you. After that, we have the Zenith Passage. They're leading up to an album release here, and their song is Lexicontagion. So it's kind of like a pairing of two words of lexicon and contagion. So I really like that. I think tech death with them for sure.
Yeah.
After them, we have Dead Vectors. We featured a lot. This one's a little bit more mellow. It kind of features I don't want to say acoustic, but it's a very like somber intro to the song. It's called The Sky Below, and it's featuring an artist called Beto with a period at the end. I'm not sure if maybe they're more of like a SoundCloud type of artist, like doing instrumentals or something like that. But very solid track, just as heavy though. Next up, this is a new band I've never heard of before, but shout out to them, Auraborn. So that's spelled Auraborn, with their single Epoch. They made me think of Era a little bit, like Era back in the day. So that's actually pretty exciting. And then next up, we have King Cold. Shout out to them. I saw them live in San Antonio. They opened up for Great American Ghost. They keep releasing singles, and they keep sending them to me. So I keep promoting them on our Instagram. This one's called Super Hate in all caps, and I super love it. So go check it out. Last but not least, though, we have Fiends. Arie, you turned me on to this band, and I'm really, really liking them. They just released their new track, Terror Projector. I actually love the album or the single. Well, it is the album artwork too, for the single. It's got a pink background, but it's got all these little symbols, and I love the creepy artwork. It's like almost like a stencil artwork, but it's kind of like a ghost, but think of almost like Day of the Dead-ish in a way. But it's a solid track, and I love ending this playlist with that because it's a nice bow tie to finish it out. However, this begs the question, what was your favorite of today?
So I only listened to a handful of the tracks thus far, but Own Omnipresence got my dick harder than a diamond in an ice storm, dude. That is my pick. I was thoroughly impressed the minute that track started playing, and super cool that they're from Chile. So that just kind of added to the whole experience for me with that song. And I know, like, I found this one in the deathcore subreddit, and they were talking about bands that were like part of the resurgence of like the MySpace era deathcore, basically. They're like, cool, sign me up. Now that I'm like full on embracing that movement, because I had some like resistance to it, but I absolutely love it. I can't get enough of it. But shout out and much love to the other singles I listened to. Bakasura, Brewtal alum. Love what those boys are doing. Like Todd said, they just keep getting better and better with each release. Harper has such a great future ahead of her. I mean, even now, like not even in future, she works with Pale Chord Studios. I believe that's the name of the company, but that's Spirit Box basically. So that's awesome, and what a cool combo for features. And then of course Fiends. I've been a fan of Fiends for a while now, and they've been out of the scene for a while too. This is their first single in 5 years, so that was really exciting, and it did not disappoint. And I'm glad that you brought up the album artwork / single artwork. I love it too. And I was showing Skylar that, and she was like, it makes me think of Lenny the Ghost. I don't know if you've ever seen Lenny on like TikTok or Instagram, but Lenny's basically like, it's not motivational, but it's like, like things are okay and like you're really sick type of deal. They're really cute videos, but like the vibe kind of feels like that. And I'm not trying to take away from the artwork because I love the artwork, but she's like, that's what that made me think of. And I agree. And then it also made me think of Charlie, who's a Sasquatch in the cartoon We Bare Bears, which Sky and I both really love that show.
I do know that reference. Hell yeah.
So it was just like a lot of like really cool, like off the wall references because it is very creepy artwork. And they've continued that from their debut album, which is called Me Time. And I highly recommend that album because it's fucking awesome. But the artwork is super creepy there too. And it looks like one of the characters is the main character on the artwork here too.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like there's continuation, which I always love when there's like some sort of lore involved. So yeah, those are my picks this week. How about yourself? What's doing it for you there, friend?
So my favorite one is actually In Dying Arms. I've never actually really given that band their due day, but that feature from Frankie is awesome. And then King Cold, man, I love their new metal vibe. Like I said, I saw them. They opened for Great American Ghost. Just the energy, man. That's what I love about new metal. Just it gets me pumped up. And the fact that they're just down the road is also pretty cool. Good group of guys.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah. Other ones that really caught my attention though, like you said, Own Omniprescence. Like I was blown away by that. Wretched Tongues, dude. That is so fucking heavy. And so is Impuritan and Zealed. Like I hope whoever listens to our playlist is very happy at the beginning of this because it starts off hot and heavy. And then I'm just going to give a shout out to Fiends because we're going to talk about them a little bit because they are our featured band today. And I'm highly recommend them because I'm very much digging what they're putting out. And they have a little bit of a change in their sound. And I think it's a nice welcome with what they're doing now. So Arie, I'll kind of let you take it from here. You're going to kind of intro them and then we'll get into a little bit more about the song. Again, the song is Terror Projector. Let us know a little bit about the band.
Yeah, dude. So the band consists of James Hyde, Garrett Moore, Jake Nugent, Brandon Thrift, and Alex Rappaport. So before I get into the bio itself, I do want to give a shout out to James, who actually messaged me, like direct messaged me on Instagram, DM. Wow, that sounded so fucking old. DM me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd liked one of their posts saying that they were coming back with their new single and everything. And like I had mentioned, I'm a big fan. I was like, dude, this would be a great like opportunity to promote the band. So we always have a system, Todd and I. So like, as long as we both like the band, then we can proceed with the feature. But if one of us doesn't like it, then we'll skip it. So Todd obliged, likes the band, and here we are. So that was kind of like a really cool thing to be like, oh, well, they had reached out. I was already a pre-existing fan. So that just makes it easier to, talk highly about what they're doing, especially when the track is sick as fuck. So the bio from Fiends themselves, they said transcending their innovative musical styling seamlessly through space and time, Florida natives Fiends use their musical vehicle to deliver a sonic experience like no other. Facts. Blending inspiration spanning from their deep-rooted love of progressive metal, the introspective distortion-soaked angst of 90s grunge, to the likes of bands featured on the Matrix Reloaded soundtrack. I don't know why.
I love that they put that.
Dude, yeah, same. I got the biggest kick out of that. And all I could think of is one of my favorite POD songs is from that soundtrack, which is Sleeping Awake.
Yes.
Dude,
yeah.
I love that track. I love that video. So, and that's a great soundtrack too. So kudos. I just love that specifically. It was The Matrix Reloaded.
Yeah, it wasn't even the first film, which is also a great soundtrack, but it's the second film, which again, like it's such a good soundtrack.
It is. That whole era of movie soundtracks, like in like the sci-fi and horror realm. Fuck yeah. I'm looking at you, Queen of the Damned. But
I'm looking at you, Scorpion King, dude.
Oh yeah. We should dedicate a whole episode to that. We will, maybe down the road. Yeah. But yeah, so that was a really cool little nuance to add there. Their 2018 release Me Time featured the hit single Keep Me in the Dark, which is a fantastic song, has accumulated millions of streams and reached fiends across the globe.
Nice.
Here's a quote from Metal Sucks that they included. The ease with which fiends are able to flow between driving grooves and melodic sensitivity is amazingly satisfying. While a good chunk of the album is rife with unhinged aggression, the moments of tranquility and reflection are what makes the music really shine. And that is a really, really all-encompassing quote for the band, because like if you listen to that Me Time in its entirety, yeah, there's plenty of heavy stuff in there, but it's also really technical. And like I said, there's really moments that let the music shine.
Mm-hmm.
And you get like these breathers. And that's the same thing with this particular single with Terror Projector. So to finish off the bio, Fiends, their upcoming sophomore record, pushes boundaries in every direction while paying homage to their debut album. So who knows what we can expect from the second outing, but that just makes it more exciting for us, the Fiends, I guess. And that's really fucking cool. So to continue about the track itself, Fiends' debut single off their upcoming sophomore release, Terror Projector, explores concepts of trauma, pain, anger, and growth, sending the listener on a journey through multicolored states of mind. Stampeding with low-tone rhythmic grooves and unhinged aggression, the song evolves to offer atmospheric moments of introspection and vulnerability. So that really does play off that quote from Metal Sucks that they had provided. And when you listen to the song, like, of course, we always say the band knows what they're producing the best, but it really is like a good encapsulation of what to expect from the track itself. And we love that type of shit here on Brewtal.
Oh yeah.
So in all honesty, like that's like a lot, like we love and live for like the beatdown, the slam, the heaviest, filthiest shit that you can find. But a lot of like the day-to-day stuff that we listen to is stuff like Fiends, where there's a good mix between the heavy and the melodic. And so this is right in our wheelhouse for sure. So to talk more about that, why don't you take it away there, Todd? And you wrote down some really awesome notes about the track. We'd love to hear them.
Well, what's kind of funny is I wrote these notes not even reading that about the track, and it kind of syncs up pretty well. Dude, it starts out, that fucking main riff, man, so bouncy. We stole that from Hardcore Game, but dude,
Love you, Hardcore Game.
Yeah, it's so fucking bouncy and so catchy, and it just gets things going, which I love. And the song really explodes around the 20-second mark. But I love the build up to that moment, and then you just get taken on this journey. The drum work, in my opinion, is impeccable. I love just every little nuance that he's doing in the background when you really listen in and focus on that one instrument. Dude, the guitars, the bass, they got fucking groove. There's a nice little section around 1:30 to let the instruments kind of like carry us, the listeners, through the song. And even the vocalist, man, he carries his notes across the riffs, which I love. He's not kind of like going, I guess the term would be, in my mind, is like choppy. He's going like every line of the guitar. He's kind of carrying it over, which is very cool. Other than that, there's a nice bridge that they add, which I say bridge, I'm so bad with terminology, but there's a moment where things slow down. It's a fresh breath of air, and they get super melodic. They even said atmospheric moments, and I wrote down that atmosphere is like dreaming, and it feels like I'm floating. And then he croons the line "consume me" over and over again, which I love. And then we're hit with another scream, which I put down. It's waking us up again, and we're back to the bouncier riff. And the end of the track, dude, it's a nice way to end it. The drums are picking up with the riff, and then it's got this tasty, chunky riff. And I'm actually glad you wrote this. You put heavy volumes vibes, and that's what I get from the guitars. It sounds like volumes, but it's them, what they're doing with it. Mm-hmm. And it makes you want to fucking mosh. That's what I love about it. The bounciness makes you want to jump up and down, and it's a nice little bow tie to end out the track. And we're here for it, dude. I love how it ends. I love the whole thing and just how it plays out and kind of weaves in and out, like that Metal Sucks quote. it blew my mind that I didn't read any of that before I wrote down these notes, because it just ties in so perfectly with how they describe themselves and what you're hearing. And it's the whole package.
And that's when you know that the band is really doing like what they set out to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens a lot here on the show. And that's not like a flex for us, but like a lot of times we've mentioned this before, and Todd had mentioned it on this episode. Like at least one of us like doesn't read all of the notes. So when the other one writes the notes and then reads what the band says, and then it's synced up pretty well, sync.wave, baby. That's really cool. That's fun for us too.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos, Fiends, for doing what you're doing and really just making it your own and creating something really special. So that's fucking super cool. And if this is a preview for the rest of the album, not if, it is, since it's on the album, can't wait. Can't fucking wait for the rest of it. And I can't emphasize enough, like, if you haven't listened to their debut, Me Time, it's fucking fantastic. I found this band, it came out in 2018, so either that or 2019. And I was bartending back then, so like I would blast the fuck out of it while I was closing up shop all the time, dude. So they have a special place in my heart for that reason alone. But again, they've got the vibes, dude. The heavy vibes, the mellow vibes, all the above. It's great. But let's continue, because we could go on and on about the track and the band. Well, we're going to keep going with the band, but the track itself. What are they drinking there, homie? We always like to ask that question.
Yes. What is fueling the band? They gave varied answers, and I actually love this because, yes, we talk about craft beer, but we also accommodate bands who don't drink. So that's what they kind of provided us with. James, he's a big fan of Arnie Palmies. Arnold Palmer's, for those not familiar, it's basically iced tea and lemonade, and that's one of my favorite drinks. So hell yeah. Garrett, he's a water man, water boy, bro. Let's go. Hey, you got to hydrate, dude. I
have to.
After I say that, I'm like, have I drank water today?
Garrett definitely has.
Yes. Love to see it though. Jake, he is a fan of grape Zevia. I'm actually not familiar with this, so I don't know if it's like a flavored water kind of thing, but hey, that might be something I might look for at the grocery store. After that, we have Brandon, who is a big fan of sparkling water. Shout out to my girlfriend Shannon the Cannon. She loves sparkling water. Her favorite flavor is grapefruit. I think I do like grapefruit too. That or the beer flavor, but regardless, I'm getting off topic. Next up, last but not least, we have Alex, who likes muscle milk. Let's go. I've actually never tried muscle milk, but I've heard good things. So
it's pretty tasty.
It's pretty tasty. Let's go. Love to hear it. But they did put a note, which is cool. So the band has all been collectively abstaining for about 2 years now. That's what's up. Kudos to y'all.
It's awesome.
They used to be avid Northeast IPA drinkers, though, with favorites being Hazy Highwire from Big Top in Sarasota, and then Calusa Zote, also from Sarasota. So that's cool, man. I appreciate anyone that's like trying to better themselves, like kind of weaning off from beer. I even myself, I don't drink too much nowadays. I'm such a slow drinker, but I always love to see it. And plus, there's actually so many more options out there for non-alcoholic beer, which is dope. And it kind of gives people that option if they want to still have that flavor there from what they're used to, and kind of help them on that journey. Other than that, though, beyond what's fueling them, we also asked the bands, what are they jamming? So they provided a list of 10 songs. Arie, why don't you give it away?
Yes, sir. We're starting it off hot and heavy with Godhead from Veil of Maya. That new Veil of Maya album's pretty sick. I really like that.
Let's give that a shout out, because Lucas improved his screams, and that's what's up.
Yeah, and this is definitely the heaviest one with Lucas, at least from my memory. The other two are good, but this one just seems heavier. But yeah, check out Mother. That's a great Veil of Maya album. So welcome back, boys. So we got that one. Then we have, of course, the legendary Meshuggah with Phantoms. Next is Animals as Leaders with Another Year. Narrowhead with Flesh and Solitude. Mood Ring with Black Wave. And that's Black_Wave. Prison with The River, Gojira with Born for One Thing, Spirit Box with Yellow Jacket, The Contortionist with Thrive, and legendary Rush with Subdivisions. That's a nice ending too.
I love that, dude. I love the variety, man. We're always suckers for that. It's just, you never know what to expect from metal artists because it's not all the time that they're listening to metal, including us. And so it's cool to kind of see how that might influence what they're creating. And you could probably hear a little bit of that in this track.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's a really good combination of what they're talking about, like progressive metal and like the 90s angst. That's definitely like the mood ring type deal. And of course Rush is progressive rock, but still progressive. So this all makes sense. It all makes sense.
I want to believe their drummer put that down.
Yeah. or bassist.
It's true. But that's what's up. That's a solid list. Other than that, go check them out. They have a link tree, which probably has all their social media on there. I'm sure they're on pretty much everywhere you can find them. We interact mostly on Instagram, and that's what Arie said. He DM'd them. So yeah, show them some love. Give this track a spin. Again, this is Terror Projector. Let's go.
Sometimes I wanna run away, but then I don't. Painting pictures of the better